Hello, thank you for joining us. I have with me today Hannah Flemming-Hill, who is got this title of Digital Missionary for the Southwest Baptist Association. It's a new role. She's still learning a little bit about what that means and what that looks like. But we thought it would be good to have a conversation with her today when we're considering the theme that discipleship in lockdown makes new connections, and a lot of these have been online. So Hannah, would you like to introduce yourself and talk about what does being a digital missionary look like? What does it mean?
Hi. So a digital missioner, I don't think there's technically a dictionary definition for it, but how I see it is that in the same way, our more traditional views of missionaries going out across the four corners of the world and sharing the gospel, I get to do that. I don't want to say from the comfort of my sofa, but every day and as often as I want across the fifth corner of the world, being the virtual world. So using social media, digital and technology to share the gospel and share the good news of Jesus.
Fantastic. And the digital world is constantly in our face, one way and another, isn't it? So we cannot ignore it, even if we might like to sometimes. So another question for you then. In what way does our thinking, as perhaps more traditional Christians who've been used to traditional church, in what way does our thinking need to change in order to reach out and grow followers of Jesus in this virtual world?
So we're in the biggest communication shift in 500 years since the printing press. And whilst I'm not saying that we should all just shut the doors on churches and we'll just have church on Zoom, it is about understanding that digital and technology is disrupting how we live, and that, it's changing our culture, our habits, and actually even without thinking about that, just how we live is different. And so we need to factor it in how we do church, so that it's not just in person, but that it's online. That we have 169 hours in a week, and church is not only the 2 hours that you go on a Sunday, it's every day, and it's faith is a part of our everyday 24/7, and we should use that then in every way that we do. With the Great Commission, Jesus said to go out and make disciples. So that means going out on Facebook, going out on Instagram, and sharing with the people that you communicate with that message, not just sharing kind of cat memes or things like that. Sharing the good news, sharing your church's sermon, sharing a Bible reading or a prayer or requests for prayer. It's actually being honest and vulnerable to people, to say, actually, we're normal, we have things that we need support in, and actually let's do this together, because it is a tough world, especially with everything going on at the moment. And I think actually with stuff that brings us together in a virtual way, that actually we've got to be the salt and light, and we have to be that positive, that encouraging, and that hopeful voice online. And we don't just leave social media to be kind of the less pleasant side that so many people think it is.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. And when we were talking earlier, you were saying that your aim is for content that goes out on social media to be inspiring, well-informed, but also to have good design, which can be created without you being a graphic designer, I think, just with a few tips and suggestions. Now, I know that you've recorded a webinar about how to bring in tips and suggestions for our Christmas program to take things digitally online. Can you talk very briefly about that and some of the things you might be bringing into the Christmas tips and suggestions?
Yeah, it's been very weird, like really planning Christmas stuff in like the middle of July and August. It's been a bit surreal. But I shared about a couple of ideas, nothing too outlandish that, we've got to put on sort of some big Christmas production with, 50 cameras and a whole crew. Actually, it's just taking a lot of the things that many churches have learned during lockdown and bringing it into a bit more of a focused way for Christmas, because in all honesty, we just don't know what's going to happen. And it would be really upsetting if churches thought that, oh, it's fine, we can just carry on and we're going to plan for our big carols by candlelight service, and actually something happens as the recent announcement by the government, actually we've suddenly now got to rearrange how we do things. And thankfully places of worship haven't been affected by the recent announcement, but who knows what's going to happen. So it would be very upsetting if churches spent a lot of time making sure they were COVID compliant with a carol service, and then actually they have to be very strict on limiting the amount of people that can come into the service. It seems slightly more productive almost to put a bit more effort into doing something digital that everyone can watch, regardless of where they are. Many people may be ending up spending time with family and having to go away from their local home church to go to a parents' home church or grandparents' home church. So just kind of thinking about certain things to go from the very easy of doing a sort of online services to something with a bit more thought, but actually could be really impactful. And it's not just about church putting it out there, but it's about bringing the community together, bringing the congregation together, and what it's about of coming together at Christmas, and sharing the load of it all. Trying to think what else. A couple of resources that I share as well, but it is all been recorded and able to be accessed.
Brilliant, thank you. So yes, the webinar is available on the Southwest Baptist Association website. We will put a link on the EBA website so that you can find that and find out more about Hannah's amazing suggestions to how to bring Christmas alive digitally, and to still get the message of Jesus across, which of course is the most important thing that we want to do at Christmas. And if you would like to get directly in touch with Hannah to learn more about her thoughts about how can we really disciple people online, she's still learning, but she's very happy to share what she's already learnt and her journey with you. So we'll also put her email address on our website so that you could connect with her direct. Thank you so much, Hannah, for giving up your time to share with us. And I hope that some of you watching this will have found this helpful and stimulating. God bless you for the rest of your day.